Good afternoon, and if you're a visitor to our campus, welcome to our beautiful campus here at Syracuse University. We'd like to extend a warm welcome to everyone to the 76th Annual Harry E. Salzberg Memorial Award and Lecture Program. This prestigious award was established in 1949 by Murray Salzberg in honor of his father, Harry E. Salzberg. He was a notable transportation industrialist from the late 19th century, early 20th century. He owned many bus companies. He owned many railroads. The award was initially created to recognize an individual organization that had made significant contributions to the field, then the new field of transportation, actually. And over the years, the scope of the award has expanded with the times to now include logistics and supply chain. The Salzberg Award proudly remains as the first and oldest supply chain award in the United States and quite possibly the world. My name is Gary Lapointe. I'm a professor of practice in the supply chain program, and I'm one of your hosts this afternoon along with my co-director, Julie Niederhoff. We're excited to recognize two very worthy recipients of the Salzberg Award this year, as well as celebrate several outstanding supply chain students. And to get the program going, I'd like to invite Interim Dean Alex McKelvie to share opening remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Syracuse, and welcome to the 76th Annual Harry E. Salzberg Memorial Lecture Program. 76 years. That's a long time. As Gary mentioned, my name is Alex McKelvie. I'm the interim dean here at the Whitman School of Management, and we're delighted that you were able to join us today. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge with respect the Onondaga Nation, fire keepers of the Haudenosaunee, the indigenous people on whose ancestral land Syracuse University now stands. The Salzberg program is truly a special event for the Whitman School of Management and for our supply chain management program. And there are a few reasons for this. First off, it helps to celebrate excellence of our nationally ranked supply chain management program. The Whitman School is proud to be the oldest supply chain management in the program, started in 1919. And I'll say without reservation that this event is the crown jewel of that program. Our faculty in supply chain management consist of leaders in their fields, journal editors, brilliant thinkers, inspiring teachers, and influencers in the media. The Salzberg Medallion, as Gary mentioned, was presented today, has been awarded since 1949, a remarkable 76th anniversary of this award. And that was before supply chain was a thing, right? So you think back 76 years ago, we're talking about, trains, railroads, and not much else. And so just the way that how far we've come since then is truly remarkable. And for that long-standing reason, the relevance of the topic, it's not surprising that this medallion has quickly become one of the most prestigious awards in the field of transportation and supply chain management. So that's the first reason. The second reason is this event showcases industry leaders, our talented students, and our excellent scholars. It recognizes innovators and those willing to take a stand for what they believe in rather than simply accepting norms, and this is the way that we've always done things. And these are the types of values and approaches that we want to instill into our students. And our leadership in this area will truly help to inspire them. The event also brings together a lot of what we think globally recognized supply chain management programs should be doing, and especially academic programs, and that is bring together research, teaching, and best practice from industry. So the list of awardees, if you haven't seen it, it's in the program ahead of you, is extremely impressive, and we're thankful for all of them and all of our guests who were able to make it to Syracuse today. The third reason why I think this is particularly exciting is that this year's program is especially relevant. It includes tremendously important topics from our distinguished speakers. Our speakers are discussing topics at the intersection of supply chain management, technology, including artificial intelligence, and sustainability. These topics reflect significant areas that have driven the growth and importance and increased attention to the field of supply chain management, and reinforces why our supply chain management program and this event are so important to the Whitman School. I'd say this focus with technology and sustainability as well as supply chain also aligns well with the Salzberg family early involvement in thinking about the importance of technology while also recycling and repurposing old railroads. The Salzbergs were certainly ahead of their time in this regard. And perhaps more importantly now, these topics will continue to play a notable role in the future. As global citizens, and I see that back is all full of students, these are critical issues. You guys are probably hear every day about sustainability and AI. This is where you nod. Yes. All right. If not, you should be reading, following the news a lot more. These are things that have deep impact for the present, but also for the future. And for this latter reason, I think the Salzberg program this year is extraordinarily timely and relevant. And I can't think of more important topics to discuss on a day like today than technology, sustainability, and supply chain. It's hard to find something more pertinent right now, and especially as you continue to see the importance of supply chain in our world. Before we get started, I really want to make sure I can thank the entire team of individuals who helped to put on this event. It is a big production. You're only seeing one part of this in this room, but it started last night. It's going all day today into tonight, and then a full day tomorrow. So first off, I really want to thank Professor Julie Niederhoff and Gary Lapointe. For all of their work. The Franklin Supply Chain Management Advisory Council, many of them are sitting over here. I saw you guys here today. The faculty and the support team that really, do a lot of the dirty work to put on an event like this. So we couldn't do it without this full team effort. And that's why I'm delighted that we're able to host again this year. So thank you all for coming. I'm happy to get the party started and hand it over to Professor Niederhoff. Julie?
Thank you very much, Steve McKelvie. We're very excited for today's event, and we're really looking forward to hearing from each of our speakers who have joined us today. But first, I do want to take a moment to welcome you to the 76th Annual Salzberg Memorial Lecture. I'm Professor Julie Niederhoff. I'm an associate professor here in the supply chain group. I see a lot of my students. Hello. I also currently serve as the department chair for the Department of Marketing, Supply Chain, and Retail. And most relevant to today's event, I am the co-director of the H.H. Franklin Center for Supply Chain Management, alongside my colleague, Professor Gary Lapointe. Every year here at Whitman, we have the privilege to host the Salzberg Memorial Lecture Program to honor leaders in supply chain management. Through this event, we expose our students to global innovators and thought leaders. This event is overseen by the H.H. Franklin Center and our Franklin Advisory Board. Thank you again. For those of you who don't know, the original Herbert H. Franklin was a central New York industrialist who founded the H.H. Franklin Manufacturing Company to build the first air-conditioned cars in America in the early 1900s. In a time when the automobile was dramatically changing so much about the way that people lived, interacted, and did business throughout the world, H.H. Franklin saw an opportunity to be part of that change. At the same time, he recognized the value of supporting an academic center that was focused on deeply understanding the global opportunities and challenges this technological change would have on business operations and the way the world interacts. The Franklin Center was founded more than 100 years ago to connect academic researchers and students to industries in order to meet this rapidly changing world. Today, more than 100 years later, we at the Franklin Center continue to study how disruptive technologies change the way we live, work, interact, and do business. In the 1920s, that technology was cars. Today, it's artificial intelligence. And that is once again rapidly changing the way that we live, work, and do business. And so today we'll dig into understanding these changes more deeply. Our Medallion winners today are leaders in shaping and understanding these changes. Briefly, Schneider Electric has positioned itself at the forefront of this transformation, revolutionizing supply chain resilience and sustainability through AI-powered solutions and smarter infrastructure that are reshaping industries worldwide. Today, we're also honoring Dr. Georgia Perakis of MIT. Dr. Perakis is a distinguished researcher and educator whose work in operations research and supply chain analytics has redefined how organizations use data-driven optimization to solve complex business challenges. Her contributions to pricing, inventory management, and operational decision-making have influenced both academic thought and industry practice around the globe. We look forward to hearing from both of these guests and our other industry speakers throughout the afternoon. To get us started today with the award presentations, I would first like to invite Dr. Elodie Adida to introduce you all to Dr. Perakis more personally. In addition to being a professor at the University of California, Riverside, and a highly accomplished researcher herself, Elodie has the distinction of having been a doctoral student and mentee of Dr. Perakis. So please welcome Professor Adida.
Thank you, Julie. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure and a great honor for me to be here today to introduce this year's recipient of the Salzberg Academic Medallion Award, Professor Georgia Perakis. Now, for many of you in this room, Georgia likely needs no introduction. For those of you who are not yet very familiar with her accomplishments, I'm afraid listing them all would take more than the 5 minutes I was given, but I'll do my best to give you the highlights. At MIT Sloan, she has held many leadership roles, from group head of the OM faculty group, co-director of the Leaders for Global Operations program, co-director of the Operations Research Center, faculty director of the Executive MBA program, associate dean of the Schwarzman College of Computing and Sloan, and recently interim dean of Sloan. Her research focuses on analytics and AI at the intersection of optimization and of machine learning, with application in pricing, revenue management, supply chain, and healthcare. Her work has been widely published in top outlets and cited nearly 7,000 times. Her research has been recognized by many awards, such as the prestigious NSF Career Award, the Perakis Award from the Office of the President on Science and Technology. She has won far too many Best Paper Awards and paper competitions to name here. Georgia has also distinguished herself in the profession. She has been associate editor and department editor at several flagship journals in the field, and she currently serves as editor-in-chief of the MSOM journal. She was elected Informs Fellow and then Distinguished Informs Fellow, a high distinction in the Informs professional organization. She has also received the prestigious award for the advancement of women in ORMS from Informs, a reflection of her deep and sustained commitment to mentorship and diversity in the field. Georgia is also an outstanding teacher, recognized with practically every teaching award that MIT offers, including Outstanding Teacher Award, the Samuel M. Siegel Award, the Graduate Student Council Teaching Award, the Jameson Prize, and Teacher of the Year Award. She's a dedicated mentor, having advised 30 Ph.D. students, including myself, and 59 master's students. Now, this is more than entire OM graduate program at some universities can claim. The list goes on, but as impressive as all of that is, those of us who are lucky enough to have worked with Georgia know that she's so much more than just an exceptional scholar. Her warmth, generosity, and unwavering support make her stand out in ways that no CV ever could. I still vividly remember the first time I met with Georgia. I was a second-year PhD student, recently switched over from the master's program to the PhD program at the Operations Research Center at MIT, and I was looking for a PhD advisor. I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to do research on, so I had set up some meetings with several faculty members affiliated with the OR Center who were open to taking on a new student. I don't think I realized at all at the time how consequential that moment was. In retrospect, I think it was life-changing. All the professors I met were brilliant. Of course, it was MIT. But Georgia stood out. She had this rare combination of intellectual intensity and personal warmth. Talking to her, you immediately knew that she was in your corner and that no research obstacle, or life obstacle for that matter, was too big to tackle together. As a student a few years ahead of me once told me, when Georgia becomes your advisor, it's not just for the PhD, it's for life. And that's absolutely true. Her door has remained open to me through all the twists and turns of my academic journey. I honestly don't think my career would have turned out the way it did if it weren't for her mentorship and support at key moments along the way. Her impact goes far beyond her immediate students, though. Through her mentorship and her leadership roles at MIT, at MSUM, at Informs, and more broadly in the OM community, she's shaped the field in lasting ways and has become a role model that inspired countless others. So it's only fitting that she receives today the Salzberg Academic Medallion Award. Though I have to say at this point, it's getting hard to find major awards she hasn't yet won. But if there's one out there, I have no doubt that she'll receive it, probably by next week. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming the incredible Professor Georgia Perakis.
Thank you, Elodie. I'd like to now invite Dr. Georgia Perakis to the front. Along with Dean McKelvie and Professor Lapointe, I will read off the Chancellor's citation and we will present the Salzberg Medallion. The Salzberg Medallion, as shown here in the image, was originally sculpted for the Salzberg program back in 1952 by artist Ivan Mestrovic, a fascinating and influential Croatian artist whose work appears in cities throughout the world and here on campus in the Mestrovic Sculpture Garden, FYI. The Chancellor and President has conferred upon Georgia Perakis the Salzberg Medallion. Dr. Georgia Perakis is recognized with the Salzberg Medallion in honor of her visionary leadership in supply chain management. Dr. Perakis has distinguished herself as one of the preeminent academics in the field of supply chain management. Throughout her career, she has been recognized as a leader in solving complex problems in analytics, optimization, dynamic pricing. Dr. Perakis' groundbreaking work in operations research and machine learning has led to transformative advances in how organizations leverage analytics to make better operational decisions. Dr. Perakis' research in revenue management, supply chain optimization, and healthcare operations has inspired students and enabled leaders across industries to improve efficiency, responsiveness, and profitability in the face of uncertainty and change. Dr. Perakis' efforts in solving complex problems and educating others has earned her the recognition of Syracuse University with the awarding of the Salzberg Medallion, signed by Chancellor Kent Severud, November 13, 2025.
When we think of supply chain, we typically think of manufacturing, transportation, distribution of parts, finished goods, raw materials, and so forth. But electricity also gets manufactured, transported, and distributed, something probably we never even really think about. So this year's Salzberg Practitioner Award is a company that dominates the field of power distribution management, Schneider Electric. They're one of the companies you may not have heard of, one of the biggest companies you may never have heard of. They operate in 100 countries with 160,000 employees worldwide in energy management. And in energy management, Schneider Electric is the undisputed king. They manufacture the power equipment that keeps utilities running and manages the power usage for massive industrial and construction projects. We've all heard of the rush to build massive data centers to accommodate artificial intelligence and the vast amounts of energy that these centers are going to require. Well, it's the equipment that's produced by Schneider Electric that's going to determine how the energy in these data centers gets distributed amongst all the equipment that's going to be in there. But their expertise goes further. Schneider is also a leader in making supply chains smarter through factory and distribution centers automation. They've been a pioneer in creating smart factories. Many of they operate themselves. They've achieved this by digitally transforming their operations using artificial intelligence and advanced data analytics to get real-time transparency across their global operations of 160 countries and 80 distribution centers. It's my pleasure to invite Denny, a strategic account manager for key accounts at Schneider Electric and a 2011 Maxwell grad, to accept the Salzberg Medallion and the Chancellor Citation on behalf of Schneider Electric. Siri, if you could please come up. So I'd like to read the Chancellor's Citation. Schneider Electric SE has a long history as a leader in supply chain practice and innovation and could be recognized on those merits alone. Building upon this, history, Schneider Electric has distinguished itself as a global leader in the innovative use of artificial intelligence in supply chain. By using artificial intelligence to provide global transparency in operations, Schneider Electric is reshaping long-held industry practices from a just-in-time approach to one based on agility, speed, and real-time planning. The shift in strategy has established Schneider Electric as a global benchmark in industry. Furthermore, to support the growing AI sector, Schneider Electric is at the forefront of leveraging artificial intelligence to forecast power demands to better optimize power distribution and at data centers worldwide. This technology is vital for the continued efficient expansion of data centers that power the world's increasing reliance on artificial intelligence. Schneider Electric's continuous improvement in their supply chain serves as an inspiration and benchmark for organizations globally. Syracuse University acknowledges these achievements with the awarding of the Salzberg Medallion, in witness whereof I hereby place my name and the university seal on this 13th of November, 2025. Ken Severud, President and Chancellor of Syracuse University.